In the past couple of years, we've seen a big push from Japanese developers to get their games on the PC, and for the most part, it's gone down well, with many of those games becoming critical and commercial successes. But then you get companies like Square-Enix, who clearly just don't give a shit.
A couple of months before its release, Square-Enix announced that Nier Automata was no longer a PS4 exclusive and that it would come to PC. This was pretty great news for a lot of PC gamers because Nier has quite the dedicated fan base. People who love the game and consistently sing the game's praises, and so PC players were excited to see what all the fuss was about. Fast forward to the launch of Automata, which came out on PS4 a couple of weeks before the PC version debuted, and people were loving the game. Reviews are great and the game was selling well.
So naturally, PC players started to get excited. They were listening to the good word of mouth the game was getting, and they started to anticipate the PC release even more. But when the PC version finally unlocked on Steam, some players were frustrated to discover that the PC port of Nier Automata was really quite poor. The port was plagued with frequent crashes and bugs, and even the unofficial mod, which fixes a lot of the port's problems, introduced its own set of bugs and glitches. It's safe to say fans were just not happy. However, after almost 4 months of being on sale and over 500,000 sales on PC according to Steam Spy, Square Enix have not put out a single patch to fix any of this.
In one way, it's kind of what you want, isn't it? You want a game that doesn't need patches after it gets released.
Yep.
But in the other way, the fact that this game isn't finished in the first place, they should finish the f***ing shit before releasing it. How can they justify releasing the game when it's not optimized,
Yeah.
it's not properly bug free or anything like that? They just release the game and just don't support it afterwards. It's like,
For
what
me,
they should be doing.
For me, it's just a weird story. I can't remember the last time I heard of anyone not patching a game for so long after launch. The first time this was kind of brought up in the office, I was scratching my head like, when does it? This never happens. This normally never happens. Patches are like the fallback now for all these companies. Like they'll deliberately not worry about it so much because they can just do it post-launch, and there's day one patches, and we've moaned about that on the channel. This time we're saying we want patches because why? How can you go that long when there's that many sales, when it's such a critically acclaimed game, when you've made that much money, and you're just kind of neglecting all those people?
It's like they
just
don't give a f***, isn't it?
It's
like they don't care.
And it's Square Enix. What is this company doing? Like, they've got all these properties, they've got these incredible games in their catalogue, and they're just, what are they doing to them? Like Hitman. Hitman is now its own thing. They've lost that now to IO Interactive, who've got control of the IP, and they can, thank God, do their own thing with that property now. Tomb Raider. When Tomb Raider came out, it sold millions of copies, and Square Enix's position on it was, this game is a disappointment because it didn't sell quite as many millions as we were hoping for. It's just a terrible way to look at your games and your library of games that you've got at your disposal. They're just not doing right by these games. It's weird, it's strange.
Screw you, Square, is the bottom line, isn't it?
That's the message of the video, yeah.
So, with over 500,000 units sold on PC, you'd think Square Enix and Platinum Games would take notice and at least acknowledge the issue. But as of July 2017, Square Enix haven't said anything about the state of the PC port, and the only update they released was to patch incompatibility for upcoming DLC packs. Whereas the PC ports of Bayonetta and Vanquish, also from Platinum Games, have received numerous patches fixing bugs and glitches.
Now, it should be said that Vanquish was ported by another team, but Platinum did port Bayonetta themselves to the PC, and that port ran spectacularly for almost everyone and received a number of updates in quick succession. From the consumer's point of view, it looks like Square has simply abandoned the PC version of Nier Automata, which is especially worrying considering it reached number 3 in Steam's global sales during the summer sale just this past week. At the time of recording on Steam, the game is sitting at mostly positive reviews, with a majority of negative reviews highlighting those technical issues. But even despite these issues, fans still love the game, and the general consensus is that it is a fantastic product. The one last point is that fact about Bayonetta being a good port, that is really weird. Like, how is Bayonetta such a fantastic port? Like, people, it's not just flawless, people were pushing that to like run in ridiculously high resolutions and stuff because it could do it. It was so well optimized. How is the same company pulled that off? And then Nier Automata, there's nothing happening with that. It's been abandoned by the looks of it, and it's a bad port. So Square Enix are the only thing that's different in that instance. They are involved with Nier Automata, they are not involved with Bayonetta, and look at the difference.
Yeah, it's a big shame when people really love a video game, but like Square Enix are just making it really hard for them to enjoy it. In the case of Nier Automata, it's dispiriting, isn't it? You want to play the game, you love a game, but like they're not supporting you, they're not fixing the shit, which should be ready when it was boxed, when it was shipped. It's like you have to fight against this company just to enjoy its products.
Alright then guys, did you pick up Nier Automata on the PC? What did you think of the port? Let us know down in the comments. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this every day. There's a link right there if you want to watch another video, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. See you next time.